Welcome to Tales Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob, and it's Friday night. It's 11 p.m. and I'm joined in the studio by Nathan by Nathan Prescott.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you too, sir. It's Christmas Eve for anyone who plays Age of Sigmar. If you're joining us, are you excited?
Yeah.
No, good. Yeah, I am very excited. Me too. I can't get over it. So if you're watching us live right now, like Yarfest, September and Gitley, thanks very much. And if you're watching us anywhere, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, thanks very much. Thank you to everyone on Patreon and Twitch who lets us do this for a living. You guys are great. It's nice of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
Well
nice.
done, laddos.
Well done, laddos and ladies. Hi, Speckles. So this is the Nathan and Rob late night edition. We're but an hour away before maybe pre-release stuff comes up for Age of Sigmar. We might see some people who get advanced copies of stuff showing off for the points. We've already seen a couple of points in WhatsApp groups from France or one of those others, Swedonia. Yeah, one of those others. So we've got lots. The Honest War Game is actually going to be doing a metric ton of content about the book as we get the release information. But me and Nathan in this show right now, we're just going to talk about the article that they've put up today. Yeah, and we're going to talk it through. Does that sound good to everyone?
Yeah.
Also, hi Rograx, thanks for joining. Us for 19 months in a row. We have not got any advanced copies. The Propagation, Caleb, mowing my yard, listening to some honest wargaming. All right, good. Gitley, sitting here painting another 3 choreographs for tomorrow's tournament. Hey, Speckles, Phil, how can you have reaction only? Daughters of Cain and Dispossessed points are out. Oh, no, it's not reaction to all of them. You need to, it's our pre-release reaction, not our release reaction. This is our pre-release reaction.
Yeah.
Oh, Joel McGrath, I need to tweet you back in a moment. Your beauty, best time to do a stream, by the way. Well, I'm going to be hopefully talking to you maybe even later tonight, depending on when points come out. Right, evening Luvo, also be talking to you. So, there's a superstar. Speckles is in there as well. I won't be talking to you, Speckles. Right, so Games Workshop today put up an article on their community site, which is what we're going to base everything off. Yeah, and you and me are just going to have a fucking general shit talk about it. You up for that?
Yeah.
Happy with
that?
that?
The premature.
It's like Christmas Eve.
I'm
so excited. I'm excited all day. So a little side note for everyone before. No, John, I spent the day waiting for points to potentially leak and building pink horrors. So I was so excited by this article. But some people maybe aren't. So if you're one of those people that feels like your army's been affected negatively, I'm so sorry. And we love you forever and always. Also, to King Tristan, thank you for subscribing for 9 months in a row and being one of our channel mods, you little babe. Hi, Jim 1080. Bling Marine, evening. Gitley Gutbusters are deadly as ever. Let's get to that in a moment. Nath, first off, Grand Alliance Chaos. That's what we're going to be talking about first. First thing to talk about, Beasts of Chaos. Gore are now only 70 points. Apparently, they're a very tempting option for Beasts of Chaos generals.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at them as their stats, they're pretty quick. So for 70 points, that's not bad, I suppose, for 10 of them, because they can take the shields, can't they? And that gives them a 4-up save. Yeah,
I think they generally get used for at least getting stabbed a few times to summon to get some summoning points.
Yeah, well, normally they take Ungol because they're cheaper, aren't they? They're only 60. Yeah. Whereas these used to be 80, so now they're 70.
Yeah, but
they're about the same stat line as like a dwarf warrior type thing. So yeah.
Also, Nathan, we've had some big questions in the chat. Jim 1080 says it's good to see Nathan. Seems like ages. I hope Jet is doing well. How can we have an update? Jet's actually been really poorly recently.
Yeah, Jet's a bit poorly at the moment. He's got a thing on his back. So yeah, he's taking medicine. And
how's he doing?
Well, it's gone down a bit. So he's got another checkup on Monday. So I'll give you an update on Monday.
Monday evening, we will all be there for that checkup. It's actually probably the most important thing that's happening this weekend. So stay tuned for that. Mick Wendell joined for the Zinch Boner Town when we get to it.
Fuck. It's going to be so shit the next year.
Oh my God, it's going to be Dimensional Cascade. Hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Right. So Ungor going down 70 points. I don't think anyone cares. Wow. However, Zangor Enlightened, arguably too cheap as they were at 140 points. We've heard that they have gone up to 160 points and are now less of an obvious pick over Dragon Well, Dragon Ogres could have gone down. We don't know that information, but I doubt it. Or Bulgor.
Well, Bulgor hit hard, but I mean, it's the speed, isn't it? Yeah, I mean,
It's the speed.
It's good that the Enlightened have gone up. That could have possibly gone up a bit more, but 160 is a good start, I reckon. Depends what else has happened.
Good start for the till next year.
Well, it just depends what else happens in. So, I mean, but that affects them also in Zinch as well, doesn't it?
It does.
So, but yeah, I mean, you mainly saw them in the Beastman army. So,
You did.
Yeah,
You did. Big shout out to Collie C in the chat. Dadhammer CG also. Collie there. Nathan's Irish brother. Joining. Most people don't know that there are actually there were 20 Nathans originally born. Well, they're not called Nathans. They're type. And much like Primarchs in 40k, they got distributed. There's also another one in Australia called Dino. So there's at least 3 of the 20 found.
Oh, I wish I was like Dino.
Or Colin.
That was true, actually.
The one that didn't make it all the way, a bit like the film movie Twins, if anyone's seen that. The Danny DeVito of that group, obviously, will be Donal, who may be joining us later. So Visa Gales points, they were sorted there. What's everyone's reaction in the chat, Nathan? Your first thoughts?
Yeah, whatever. They're not anything I'm that interested in. They'll still die, so it's fine.
They're good. Jabberwoy said, I did the math. Even at 160, they're stupid. Bulgor would have to go down to 120 to compare.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
I personally think that they are way too cheap. Still, I would have put them at 180.
Yeah.
Like my pink horrors now are only 180.
That's too cheap.
That's. Each can look forward to sweeping reductions across the board. Oh my god, I bought low when everything was rubbish, and I've been rewarded. I'm so happy about this.
It wasn't rubbish though.
It wasn't rubbish. That's very true. Yeah, what they've done is they fucked up massively here, and I'm over the moon about it. Appealing to horrors of all varieties, pink horrors in particular at 180 points for 10. So they might have made the blue horrors cheaper as well, which is great for people running change hosts or even the multitudinous hosts. I think I got that right.
No.
Because you're taking quite a lot to get the bonus, usually 9 units. So if you even got a 10-point reduction just on every unit, you'll get a 90-point reduction in the list. If a Lord of Change comes down as well, you might see 100 to 150 points cheaper Tzeentch armies than the ones you currently see. And also, Flamers got made 140 points, and they're not bad. At one point, 3 years ago or so, Flamers were the horror of... do you remember that time?
Vaguely, yeah. I remember, like, in MoComp, actually.
There were a lot of Flamers at one point,
kicking
right?
about, weren't they? Yeah.
So I'm chuffed with that, especially because I'm getting into the army. Do I think it's a good call? Flamers could definitely have gone down. I think that's good. I think Pink Horror... I didn't like paying 200 points for Pink Horrors when I was writing my lists, but it's fair because really they're also 20 Blue Horrors and they're then 40 Brimstone Horrors. So they fucked the boat on that, which is interesting because they're going to be putting them in a boat and travelling them across the board. So Tzeentch have had a massive win, I would say. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. Like you say, that 10 horror unit is actually 10 horrors, 20 blues, and
40 for 180 points.
Yeah, I know.
I'd also like to point out Mick Wendell in the chat, who took Change Host, so Tzeentch Demons, to the Six Nations event, has put the Tzeentch drops are amazing, but fucking senseless.
Is undergoing something of a renaissance at the moment, but his points stay the same, which is not. I think that's fine. I mean, if anything, he could have gone up, but I think it's fine how he is there. But the Vanguard have gone down, and obviously we never saw any of those, and probably because they were too expensive. So they dropped 20 points for a unit of 3. So that's
yeah, right. I don't think it's. I think they're not. I don't know. I think probably put like a pin in those personally. The Varangard changes. I'm sure that like the much rumored Ever Chosen book or Slaves to Darkness book is out soon. So I think Varangard will be more of a thing then. I don't think this is a thing now. Yeah. So we'll just skip past that.
Okay.
I would say. However, Maggotkin and Nurgle, Lord of Afflictions, Puskor, Blight Lards, and they're Blight Lards. Just because they're fat. Petition to call them the Blight Lards for the rest. Oh boy, Phil, thank you for subscribing, by the way, for 14 months. I would, and everyone on Twitch for subscribing. You guys are wonderful. Do you think the Blight Lords getting cheaper is good?
I guess Nurgle has seemed not as strong over the last few months compared to everything else. So if they can squeeze a bit more into their army, I guess it's not a bad thing. I mean, when they first came out, they were just wrecking face, weren't they? So.
The Blight Lords?
No, well, Nurgle in general.
Yes, when the book first came out. Yeah.
Whereas the Blight Lords but it was mainly the drones.
Yeah, the drone strike list. So
drones and the plague touched.
Yeah.
Which is that they sorted that out, and now, it'd be good. I think they're quite a decent war scroll, really. So.
Well, yeah, and those are some of the newer models as well.
Yeah,
so
they look great.
Yeah, so they've effectively lowered the points of everything that you'll find in the affliction cyst. Whether or not you'll see people running it is a big question. They don't have any part of the activation wars. So as combat units, which is all they really are, Slaanesh, Flesh Eater Courts, Skaven are all going to kick the fuck out of them. So you would have to maybe lower them cheaper, but we are going to be talking to a Nurgle expert at one point, so we'll find out how they feel about that. Slaves to Darkness, Chaos Marauder Horsemen have been given a small but welcome drop to 80 points. These guys are apparently fast, flexible, and be geared up as range unit with javelins. So just loads of crappy words said there. So I'll straight away skip past the Marauder Horseman bit because it's not important. But Chaos Chariots, you can get 3 for 210 points.
Whatever.
You're not bothered?
No, I'd be more interested in the Horseman at 80 points as a little chaff unit.
210 points. The base on the Chaos Chariot is actually quite big. Yeah, 210 points for 21 wounds, and then to create like board control. Like I probably wouldn't pay it because it's the same price as I could pay for having 20 Marauders.
Save,
no, 40 Marauders.
10.
No, I get 40 Marauders for 10 points less. That's more board control than chaff if that's what I want.
Yeah.
And they don't have any output, so I'm against it. Hi El Capitan. Hello to everyone in the chat. We're just going through the info, so feel free to make jokes with us as we go.
I think small units, but I think the Horseman thing is quite good because I really like small little fast units like that. So the Squig Hoppers and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Wolf Riders. So dropping them to 80. I mean, if the Hoppers drop to 80, or even like Wolfman, the Goblin Wolf Riders.
Oh, nice.
Were 80. Stuff like that would be, that'd be really useful. Little just.
They're really good. Do you know what they're really good at is the scenario where it's the two objectives in the center or focal points. Any of those scenarios where what you want to do turn one is you don't want to commit your 2 offensive blocks. So you put 2 80-point units forward. They cap the objective, which means your opponent has to either shoot them off or charge them, and then that puts you in counter charge range. And it is not it takes a lot of tech sometimes to think that far ahead and just be like, actually that's what their purpose is. So nice utility realistically there. So yeah, I agree with you. In the chat, hey little Chris, how you doing? Splinter MD, I just need to get it out of my system. What's the fucking point of some article? I painted it like I always do and used some contrast, and they told me to. I'm sorry, it's a contrast paint conversation. Nathan, you going to be using any contrast paint?
Yeah, I'm sure I will at some point.
Sweet. I'm not. It looks shit.
I've not got any with me. I got any.
I've got some.
At the moment, I've got
some. Have you seen mine?
Yeah.
It's this. It's a can of spray. So you know how with the contrast paints you spray it white and then or whatever, and then you put the contrast paint on. Also, but you know that pro painted podcast. He was like, small tip today. The contrast paint rubs off. He's been using it today, and it rubs off the model.
What?
Rubs off the model.
What, when it's wet?
No, he was dry brushing it, and the dry brush rubbed the contrast paint off of the layer underneath. Oh. Anyway, that's fun. Anyway, who cares about that? It's just painting, and I'm gonna spray can everything because I'm a fucking. That's how you do it. That's how gangsters do it.
Philistine.
Have you been to the Bronx? So most people don't know that the first year of competitive war gaming I did was actually in the Bronx.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Well, most people don't. And and when I wasn't eating like pizza pie slices and going to jabroni baseball games, we were we were playing Warhammer so real. But yeah, you had to. You could only rattle can your stuff because we were also part of a street collective who did graffiti and breakdancing at the same time. So we only rattle canned all of our models. So that's where I learned to paint. Most people don't know that. Most people don't know.
No, most people don't.
Karchev says, "Long live enlightened." I disagree. Granlight's death. So who's the winner in Chaos then? Do you think?
He's the winner in Chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, the Pink Horrors. It's going to be a fucking horrible year for me.
Why?
Playing
Why is it going to be horrible? Because you're playing me at Warhammer. Fuck you! Right, Granlight's death. Direwolves are incredibly popular battle line, apparently, in the Legions and Nagash forces, thanks to their speed and efficiency points per wound ratio. Points per wound ratio. Do you think they have an Excel spreadsheet that says that, or they just make it up? What are your thoughts?
Don't know. Sounds fancy pants.
Does fancy? Does it sounds all of the pants? So they've put them up to 70 points for 5, making Skeleton Warriors and Zombies more tantalising choices. Graveguard have been dropped in points considerably and now taken in units of 10 minimum, which is a nice change. Hoping that for Seraphon too. And similarly, Blood Knights have also had a noticeable reduction in points, now costing only 200 points for 5, which is cool. People were already running Legion of Blood lists in Grand Hosts and Nagashes. So, I mean, most people weren't using Blood Knights because they're very expensive. But yeah. Do you want to... So, is bothered about either of those?
No, I mean, I guess the dogs going up slightly. They were popular with some lists. So
Hold on, Nath. Nath, get straight into that WhatsApp group because I reckon Ironjaw's leaks have just live leaked. Just go in there. Oh, yes! We'll get to them in a minute. Yeah? We'll get to those points in a second. Let's do it in order.
Okay.
Don't get too excited. Try not to look.
Okay, I'm looking at the other thing.
Tell us as leaks come in, boys and girls. So, Direwolves change, fine. Like, they've lost 30 points, those Legion and Nagash lists. I don't think they're too stressed about it.
They'll have to make it up somewhere else. I mean, they say that it makes the skeletons and the zombies, but they're different things, really, aren't
Completely
they?
different roles. Like, you were taking min battle line so that you could do other stuff, right?
Yeah, but also they were really fast objective grabbers. So grabbers, which is what, like what we were saying about the horsemen. So yeah, they're still great at 70 points.
They are, especially when they can come back and they can heal wounds into the unit because they're summonable. They're still great at 70 points. 10 points is nothing. Nighthorn. Grimgas Reapers are a star unit of Nighthorn and Legions of Nagash armies. No, they're star units of the Legions of Nagash army, you big fibbers. But having increased to 160 points for a unit of 10, the most worst change that they could have done, are less of a clear choice over similar Nighthaunt units that have been seen reductions like Dreadscythe Harridans and Hex Wraiths. Lady Alinda has gone down in points, which I think is fair because she was probably a little bit. You don't really, if you're playing just pure Nighthaunt, you don't have a very survivable kind of hero.
Yeah.
So having Alinda go down, I think, is absolutely great. However, I think having Nighthaunt punished because of the commandability in Legions of Nagash is a stupid decision. They just take Reapers and say you're not allowed them inside Legions of Nagash. Would be what I do. So, you got any thoughts on that?
No, well, I mean,
Twitch chat, any thoughts?
We're just going to see them all in the Legion of Grief anyway now, aren't we? So.
Yes, no, because it's not. My point. No, because they're still more expensive now. It doesn't matter that they're in the Legions of Grief. No, you're not going to see them. The point is what's happened to the Nighthaunt battle tome?
Oh yeah, I mean the Nighthaunt battle tome.
It's basically you might as well just burn it.
Yeah, I mean, some people will take it, but it's not. They're going to more likely to be taking the Legion of Grief. They
are, but now
which is the Legion of Nighthaunt.
Yeah, for some weird reason. Legion of Grief only would be best idea, says Speckles. I want to see what they do with okay. So, all right, cool. That's Death. You think anyone's a winner there? I think Death just sounds like they've lost there.
Fuck those guys.
Fuck those guys. I mean, really, we'll get. Yeah, I would say that most of those changes are generally welcome.
Yeah.
But you can probably just replace, if you are releasing the Gash player, you can just replace your Grimgas Reapers with your skeleton, your horde of skeleton warriors, and
Yeah,
they do
or
the
maybe
same
the
job.
Grave Guard. They've apparently dropped in
Points and units to 10.
buckets loads of points, so they'll
Apparently.
be cheap as chips.
All right, okay. Grand Light's Destruction, Nath, right next to your heart.
Oh yeah, now we're talking about real things.
Beast Core Raiders, it's pretty much all good news for Beast Core Raiders, apparently, with a number of significant drops in points. Mornfang now, a staple of Beast Core Raiders lists. Have you seen the stats? Beast Core Raiders have been used in the past 6 months in competitive Age of Sigmar 13 times.
Oh, okay.
Out of 12,000 instances.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're not a staple of any list.
No, but they're in the stable.
They are stable, but now it only cost 140 points for starters, with both Stonehorn Beast Rider Riders and Thunderous Beast Raiders riders have also been discounted. This means you'll be spending less on your battle line, allowing you to squeeze in more allies or another command point.
Or something useful.
That's so fucking rude. You Beast Core Raiders guys, we've lowered all your points so you can put good shit into your army. Wow.
So I could get some decent allies.
Whoever wrote that is, like, that's savage. That is savage.
I mean, that's good. I think 140 for the Mornfang is sweet, though. Yeah. That's pretty good. But yeah, that is. Yeah, just take more allies because you need something.
That's just upsetting. Next up, Iron Jaws, Nathan. We actually have the points live in the chat. So instead of, let's expand out very quickly. Great news for all fans of smashing stuff. Both the Mega Boss and Maw Crusher and Godrat, the Fist of Gork, now cost fewer points. What's more, both the Uruk Ardboys and Uruk Buttes have been discounted too, meaning chances are you get a few more points. Nathan, the points have been leaked in the chat. Tell me what you think. And read them out. Read them out for the. In fact, I'm going to go to them too.
Yeah. So Godrak is now 560. So that's
still 100 points, at least too much.
So he's dropped 20 points. I think he was 580, wasn't he? And then the Mega Boss on the Maw Crusher is dropped to 420. I think he was 440. So again, 20 points.
Wait, he's dropped by 20 points.
Yeah.
What the? He needs to be like 100 points cheaper. Like, they fucking suck.
Well, and then Hard Boys have dropped, so they're 140 now, but you don't get a regiment bonus.
Oh, that's a
for
shame.
The 30. But that's pretty good actually for my list.
140 of them.
Yeah.
Okay. That's still 140 points for, if I'm not wrong, for 20 wounds.
Yeah.
140 points for 20 wounds with a 4-up save.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, you were comparing it to your chariots that were 210 for 21.
21 wounds, yeah, for chaos.
4-up save.
Yeah, way better. So yeah, Uruk Boys are definitely done.
Well, I mean, obviously these guys are slower. They're movement 4, whereas the chariots are movement 8 or 9 or whatever.
Yeah, I guess so.
So then your brutes have dropped 10 points. So 170
for what is that?
For 5.
And they're 3 wounds each, 15 wounds.
Yeah.
So they're still. So this is to put it in context. If you compare them against Zangor Enlightened, Zangor Enlightened are 12 wounds with a 5-up save. Yeah, but Zangor Enlightened are 10 points cheaper. They move 3 times as fast.
Yeah.
They're just not. They just don't know how to point things. It is what we always will get to. So that's.
I think brutes. Unfortunately for me, the brutes are the strugglers in the Iron Jaws army. I mean, they're great, but in the right matchup, if they're fighting heroes or something like that, they're really good. But it's just getting them there. Whereas the other stuff just gets there more reliably. The Ard Boys.
Why do the Ard Boys get there more reliably?
They've got drummers in their units.
Nice.
Which give them an extra +2 to charge. So.
Okay, sweet.
And then all the battalions have dropped.
In points.
Yeah, so Ardfist has dropped to 160, so that's 20 points. Bloodtooth has dropped loads. It's only 80 points now.
Yes.
But I assume that will be because of the thing where you can only get 1 extra command point, or maybe you still get the command point.
You still get the command points. It's just you can't pay 50 points more for a command point, right?
Yeah.
I got to say that who was just said it in the chat? El Capitan WS10 has made a good point. Nath, you could just put the brutes in the bringy dinghy now, send them across the board. They get to move after. It looks like there's not going to be an FAQ on that. So put them in a boat, move them 12 inches, get them out the boat, move them there 4 inches. That 16-inch movement is pretty amazing. You lose one, but you can take a unit of 10, and then they can go kick ass. But you still, realistically, I would say that the Maw Crushers are still far too expensive, and you still have nothing to play around with in the activation wars, right? Apart from smash 'em and bash 'em.
Smashing and bashing.
But that doesn't apply until you've already smashed a unit, right?
It doesn't alter when the who strikes first thing. But if you position your units nicely, then you can do some stuff, which is what you saw me doing the other day against the Idoneth deepkin.
Yeah. So cheaper units.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I reckon you'll be able to fit another unit of your battle line in there.
Okay.
Especially as it looks like all the battalions have dropped a bit in points. Yeah, so you probably get like another war chanter in or something like that, I reckon, or you can change some of your stuff around.
Okay. Well, we're gonna do a tactica on Iron Jaws. We'll do that later, Nath. Yeah. Let's move on. Are you happy with the change or not?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, I do think the Maw Crusher could have gone down more.
Like 100 points more.
Yeah. I mean, if you compare it to
compared to a ton of things, and it's still shitter.
Yeah.
And it's shitter than a ton of things that cost half its points.
Yeah.
So there's an easy way to fix that conversation. Next up, Bone Splitters and Gutbusters. Oh, my favourite sentence from the day. Hey, Wo, if you're still listening, I fucking love you, bro. No changes here. Your Bone Splitters and Gutbusters armies are just as deadly as they always were. The answer is they were not deadly. Yeah, apart from the cutting right. And Ian Spink, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you definitely made them as deadly as they could be. No changes for either of those two armies, but we assume that's because there's battle tomes coming for both of those two armies very, very soon. What?
Just seen the points for the dispossessed come
Okay,
out.
well, we'll do that in a minute. Calm yourself. Right, so tell me how you feel.
About they are.
I knew buying myself a picnic and staying here for the night was a good idea.
Yeah, they are just as deadly as they ever were. That's true.
Which is not deadly at all, is the point. However, Steve Dooley, if you're listening, and also to my man in Australia, I forgot his name, I'm so sorry, who also went 4-1 with Darkling Covens this week in the old General's Handbook, Nath. It happened twice in a month in the Dying Embers of the last edition. Grand Alliance Order, Darkling Covens, they have got reductions on Bleak Swords, while the Sorceress on Black Dragon is a very reasonable 260 points. Just FYI, that's still 100 points more than she needs to be. Yeah, right? That's terrible. But just if they get some other reductions, like on the Executioners and a Blackguard, they genuinely could be a force to be reckoned with, right?
Yeah.
A Symbol says that paragraph in the preview article brought me more joy than any points changes talking about. Haywo has said, and if you're not aware, Haywo in the chat, he has his own Twitch channel and he does great content for Age of Sigmar. You should check him out. He says, he said they weren't and they didn't change.
They're as deadly as they ever were. It's true.
But if anyone's feeling a little bit sad about that, my personal assumption is that both of those two armies are getting battle tomes within the next, I'm going to say 3 months. So I'm calling it here. So don't be too disheartened tonight or today.
That just means the rules haven't changed. It's like you could say that about all things that are the same as they were before. They're as deadly as they ever were, or as soft as they ever were, or they've got as many feet as they had before. It's all...
Yeah. There is Southwest Legion Commander's also got a question which we'll answer at the end, but because I don't want to skip. So next up, Grand Alliance Order, right?
Yeah.
Darkling Covens, we've talked about. Daughters of Cain, the most successful army in Age of Sigmar 2.1.
Yeah.
Daughters of Cain are superb. Witch Elves have gone up to 120 points, and the Hag Queen has gone up to 90 points.
And so the regiment bonus for the Witch Elves is now 300 for.
Oh, you've got
30.
the Witch Elf points too.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. I ain't going home tonight. I got works to do. I'm excited.
Bloodstalkers have come down,
Yeah.
140, and the Heartrenders have gone up to 90.
Amazing. Okay, good. So they've effectively lost a ton of points out of their army builds. They've lost some. Have they lost the regiment discount on Witch Elves?
No, they've got a regiment discount. It's now 300 for 30.
So they lost 30 points there. And if they took 2 blocks, they've lost 30. And Heartrenders have gone up by how much?
They're 90 now. They were
60.
Were they 60 before?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm almost certain they were 60. They might have been 80, but so what we're effectively saying there is that they've lost probably 100 points in their list.
Yeah.
And that could be. Collie C says so this is Colin Cochran, who was running Daughters of Cain at the Six Nations event. So my Six Nation list went up by 130 points. Wow, that's not a lot, is it? 130 points. So that was his Daughters of Cain list, which he's been running pretty. Has Marathi changing points at all? No. Okay.
But it does mean that he's got to change his list, doesn't it?
It does mean he has to change his list, though. So that's the thing. Next up, we have the Devoted of Sigma. Okay. No major changes for the Devoted of Sigma for the one person that's ever used them. Barring the Witch Hunter, which now costs a mere 40 points. He's getting into craggy territory. He's still a cracking little killer of of wizards and demons, and well worth considering. He's not. That's a lie. Nathan, Dispossessed.
Yeah.
Here we go. For Dispossessed, Warriors have had a small increase. Oh, fuck what that says. Tell me what's happened in the Dispossessed right now. You've got the points. I'm going to go back to my Twitch chat bros while I hear you bemoan the tiny dwarf.
So the Dispossessed. So Warriors have gone up 90 points. They've gone up 10 points. And then the regiment discount gone up to 320 for 40 of them. So that's effectively 80 points. So that's quite a big points hike for them, really, for what they were. It's mainly because of the people taking them in mixed order, really.
Yes.
Because they're not that great, really. So it's a bit shit, but never mind.
You sound so bummed out.
It's fine because Rune Lords have gone down 20 points for some reason.
Yeah.
They were great at 100 points, so for 80 points, they're fucking awesome.
They are great.
Unforged has dropped to 80 points. So you probably still won't ever see any of them unless you're playing against me or somebody that's got the Grudgebound Warthrong.
Who is that?
And then the Warden King has also dropped 20 points. So a normal army has got probably 2 Rune Lords and a Warden King. So you've gained yourself an extra 60 points there, which you probably then spend on what you'd lost on the Warriors. So you end up with about the same. Everything else is the same.
Okay. So how do you feel about it as a change? Not much.
Yeah, there's nothing there. They've not given them a boost really. If anything, Hammerers have dropped a bit as well actually. Hammerers are now 140, whereas they used to be 160. That's pretty good, because I used to like a big hammerer block. 360 for a big block as well.
30 wounds, 4 up save, 2 attacks each.
Yeah.
Not bad, not bad. 3s and 3s, round 1 damage. Still can't activate first, so...
Still movement 4.
Still movement 4, so not good. Eldritch Council, no one cares. Free people, they have moved up the points of the Free Guild General on Griffin. Arguably one of the only things in the Free Guild book that made it competitive, which is a little bit of a shame. The way it works, the Free Guild army, is very much like a gun line, and you end up sending your Griffins off to go and cap objectives. So it's a bit of a shame that they haven't changed that, but... Great Swords and Demigryphs have gone down. They would have to drop Demigryphs a lot for anyone to care, and I don't know what they will have dropped them down. But yeah, that's a bad change, unfortunately, for the Free Peoples. But hopefully they'll get some points. They'll get some sort of book or something soon to make them better. Next up, Idoneth Deepkin. I think we have the points for the Idoneth Deepkin actually in the chat. Do you want to tell me what they are?
So Namati Thralls have dropped to 130 for 10, and the regiment discount 360.
Mm-hmm.
So is that only a 10-point drop? It must be, yeah.
Yep.
The Leviathan is now 350.
Which is, yeah, okay.
Is that also a 10-point drop?
I think the Leviathan drop is very small.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. I mean, whatever. The Eidolon aspect of the sea, 420. Sounds a bit crap as well.
Yeah, I think it's a 20-point reduction.
Yeah, and the Eidolon aspect of the storm is 400, which I think it was before. I don't think that's changed.
Leviathan is down 30 points, which is not enough points in my opinion. So Idoneth, Grumslag reckons that Idoneth have dropped down to tier 2. Evening Rob Ellis, by the way. Leviathan is still only 50 points too high, says Heywo. Realistically, we talked about this. We've done a show on the Honest War Game if you want to go back and listen. Games Workshop don't know how to point monsters. They literally don't have a clue. They're a sliding scale of all over the shop. So I'm unsurprised that they have done that. What's interesting, though, is both the aspect of the sea and the aspect of storm aren't actually keyword monsters.
Yeah.
So they can get cover. But you almost never saw them in lists. Almost never saw them in competitive lists. And what you did see was you saw lots of eels. Eels only going up by 20 points or 10.
So the Morsar Guard are now 170.
So they've gone up by 10 points.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not enough of a change because people would be spamming them in loads. So actually, what the points that they've made by getting cheaper thralls, they're now spending on exactly the same points of eels. So those lists should work the same.
Yeah, the Soul Render is now 80. The Soul Scryer 130, so that's gone up. Lotan is 80, so he's quite cheap, and the Sharks are 120.
Yeah, they've gone down 20 points. Thanks, Sircon, in the chat. Yeah. I don't think anyone overly minds about the Sharks, but I know that people want to play the Sharks, so I think it's a bit meh about. I think you're going to see the Idoneth Deepkin play pretty much how they did, but this is just me calling it. I'm going to be doing an interview with someone who plays them soon. Next up, Kharadron Overlords, Nath.
Yeah, so the Gun Hauler is now 130.
Just ignore them. Ignore the boats completely. Yeah.
The Frigate 200. The Ironclad 380.
Just tell
me. The Chemist 140.
So the Chemist is up is fine, but then how much?
No, I think it's down.
But how much have they dropped the Arcanauts down? Have they dropped the Arcanauts points?
No, they're the same.
But then the Endrin Riggers. They've said in this that the Gunstruck Thunderers have seen reductions, as have the Sky Wardens. Oh, Reflex Dog Training. Thanks
they
very
must be on a different page. They're not actually on this page.
Okay, no. Massive points drop for KO. The guys in the chat. Hey, Touter. Let's be real here. Graveguard are coming. I'm not sure that's true. Elko Rob, Sky Wardens, and Thunderers. No, that's not what you need. The problem is Thunderers are 90 points.
Ah, that's yeah.
And Sky Wardens are 100 points. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go.
Yeah, that's back to what they were before, because they put them up to the same point as Engine Riggers, and then nobody would ever take them because Engine Riggers are just better than Sky Wardens.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Kharadron Overlords has seen a big points drop, or not?
Yeah, I reckon you can probably squeeze some more stuff in there.
Okay. Well, what we will be doing is the Frigate down 40. The Gun Hauler down 40 and the Gun Hauler down 40. We weren't expecting live in the show to start getting the actual points. We were doing the show based off just the article. So this is actually not we're now turning this into our release reaction. But at least you guys enjoy this as this happens actually live. So Santa's currently landing in Nathan's phone. So Kharadron Overlord's getting a points drop. What will that do to the game, Nath? What are your thoughts? We'll have a more nuanced conversation, obviously, on Monday.
Yeah. So I would think we'll probably see a few more Kharadron forces.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on how we see other stuff, because there's going to be some of the allegiance abilities change, possibly within some of the older battle tomes that have their things in the handbook. So like Iron Jaws, Darkling Covens, Dispossessed, all of that sort of stuff. So just see what those say. But, Kharadron are sort of on the cusp of being a thing. They're a bit of a gatekeeper army, aren't they? Because they're a very mobile...
And they're a threat.
Yeah.
They're a threat.
Very mobile, quite high damage shooting army.
Yeah, and again, like if we end up seeing more tournaments... Sorry, we end up seeing less tournaments using realm rules because a lot of shooting that happened in the first half of the last General's Handbook was all affected by the fact that everyone was using realms, and most of them in the Realm of Fire or Realm of Shadow negated shooting to a huge degree. So I would like to see that change. Hey, Richie Mac. Okay, cool, thanks. Mustache Hero is minus 20 points. Any sign of Zinch points, Mick Wendell. We'll get there when we get it. Big Marine, I hope KO are helped out seriously by this GHB as their eventful battle tome is an army people desperately want to play. Is it? I don't think it is. I think shooting's a little bit uninteractive. Hi, Sunise, by the way. Has anyone heard some microfractions get consolidated a bit? Not yet. Anyway, so that's all.
I mean, there's a couple of lists, KO lists, that people have got. They've dropped by like 180, 140 points. So,
same as another unit.
Yeah.
Okay, not bad. Order Draconis. While the Dragon Lord now costs 380 points, the most increases to points in Order Draconis list will be offset by the reduction to Dragon Blades, that have gone down to 120. So it was pretty much a one-build army, the old Order Draconis list. It would be nice if those people who invested in it are still able to basically run the same list, but they've moved the points around. We'll find out what that looks like in later. Phoenix Temple. I've seen some keychains this year's General's Handbook with... Oh, so they might have changed the points on the Phoenixes. When we get to that, we'll talk about it. Because Phoenix, currently, an anointed of Assyrian on Phoenix is a great ally. We'll get to that later. Scourge Privateers for our one man in the chat. For our one man. The Scourge Privateers remain largely unchanged. However, a unit of 40 Black Ark Corsairs is now only 240 points, Nath. 240 points for 40 wounds.
40 dudes. I think they chuck out loads of shots.
Loads of shots.
So I guess he's happy.
He's very happy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Just being able to put 40 wounds down for 240 points in any situation is good. That's just like, that's when you start getting to the... Sometimes we'll talk about something on the show and we'll say, I wouldn't take it if it was 10 points. But there really is like a kind of a wound to point conversion rate, especially with the bases. So 40 models like can take up a huge volume of board space, which is important because sometimes that's just what I want to do. And sometimes, if you've got Inspiring Presence, there's also 40 wounds you've got to shift from an objective. There you go. Hey, Scrivo, how you doing? So, next up, Seraphon. Seraphon briefly dominated the game at the start of the new edition for literally 1 week. Yeah, 1 week. But so did Grotz.
Just before the FAQ.
Just before the FAQ. So for 1 week. While they're less prevalent than they were, Seraphon remain a solid army. We all disagree. And the General's Handbook consolidates that. Saurus Guard and Saurus Warriors have both been reduced, letting you save points, which is interesting as they were in 0 lists. So you save points on you making a net gain of 0 because you didn't have them in your army before. So all the Seraphon lists that you'll have seen knocking around would always take Skinks over Saurus. I saw almost none. There are some builds you can do, and there were before the last General's Handbook some Saurus builds, but they're not around at the minute. However, Nathan, and this is exciting, Skinks have gone up, which has actually made the entire Seraphon range worse. That's a blow, really, for the Seraphon, but all hail the Blot
fuck
Toad.
Those guys.
No, all hail the Blot Toad. However, the Stegodon has gone down in points, which is fine. It was never taken. It was always the Engine of the Gods. And the Troglodon has seen some reductions. Now, the Troglodon is one of those models that I wouldn't take if it was 40 points. However, it's now 140 points of utterly useless. But this is where we get to touch on one of the best things that I think we're going to suggest we all do in the new version of Age of Sigmar. So my friend Nick, a show host, he does this thing where when he knows he's winning the game, halfway through the game, what he does is he summons a Troglodon with his spare Seraphon points. It's kind of the gaming equivalent of teabagging someone. So if you're rocking a Sinesh army, or if you're rocking a Khorne army, or anything that can do any summoning, I encourage you to have something in the box that is so woeful that when you summon it, your opponent knows that they've lost.
They've been teabagged.
They're being summoned teabagged. Yeah. So while its points drop hasn't in any way made it a reason anyone would ever take a Troglodon, it's still there. Also, by putting skinks up, they've effectively fucked the army. So I'm excited to see what they do in the future. Because that's bad. It's bad news, bears.
Oh, fuck those guys.
No, I love Seraphon. Big love to Seraphon. Talking about people who no one cares about, Stormcast Eternals.
Yeah, they've had loads of changes. I've only got half. I haven't got like the full list, but looks like all the paladins have gone down.
So I just want to point out that whoever did write this article, by the way, their troll levels are like through the roof. They are excellent. If you knew anything about Age of Sigmar, that entire article is like tongue in cheek. It's quality, but they are kind of just like ripping our hearts. Luvo says, "Don't Rob, don't look at the Stormcast Eternal points." Bring back long strikes. And Luvo reckons they've had a complete fucking in, but let's see how we feel about it. Evocators have got more expensive.
Yeah, the ballast has gone up 10 points, 110.
Still too cheap.
Fire Strike.
Aventis Fire Strike.
Yeah, Aventis Fire Strike, 340. I don't know much about that guy.
Well, if you don't know, don't worry.
Yeah.
So what?
Gavriel's gone up 120.
Yeah.
So it's 20 points.
By the way, if you were running the Gavriel sure charge list, you weren't really trying very hard. My thoughts. Caleb, thank you for joining the knee stabbing gang. But so what they've said in the article, Nath, is that Decimators, Protectors, and Retributors have gone down.
Yes.
Whether or not that's going to be enough, I do remember a time when Star Soul Maces were scary. But again, if what they're doing is buffing combat, that doesn't really matter because they don't get to play in the activation wars. What I'm effectively saying is if you don't have combat that exists in the activation wars, your combat's not really worth anything. I don't mean that in a horrible way.
You.
I just mean you can't charge stuff because it will kill you before you do anything back. The only example of this where it's not true would be Fire Slayers, where they can literally have they could probably have 2 armies charge them and then beat them up backwards. However, the thing that makes me interested for Stormcast here is nearly all the Vanguard units have seen cuts, and I quite like Paladors. If we were talking about the same thing we were saying about Chaos Marauders, if Paladors have gone down, I've been impressed by Paladors when I've played against them.
I mean, so the other stuff in that army, so I've not got the whole page here, but like the Griffons and the Aetherwings haven't gone down, but the Lord of Quilla has, and it sounds like the Vanguard Hunters have gone down, so I mean, I've got that army in a box that I've sort of hummed and hawed about painting up, so.
Hold on, everyone. Hold on. Let's all take a moment here. For this edition of General's Handbook 2019, is Nathan Prescott playing Stormcast and Rob Symes playing fucking Zinch? What is this? Because I promise you, in a minute, Rufus is going to come through, both Bill and Ted, and he's going to tell us that we need to fucking stop what we're doing, because 3 years ago us would beat us up, yeah. Wow, that is a change.
No, I doubt it. I doubt I've got time to paint them up, to be honest. So if anybody wants to buy some Vanguard Hunters, I've got some for sale.
Okay, all right, there we go. Kraken has unsubscribed. Speckle says, "What the fuck is going on?" And Slee says, "Jet, stop him." Yeah. Right. So we're going to be talking to a couple of Stormcast experts soon about those armies, and so you guys will get more on that. For me, that's fine.
Evocators have gone up, the other shit's gone down.
So the good thing about the Stormcast army, if you're talking about like a meta game, is what it does is it brings like some pretty solid and competent shooting to the game. If the long strikes have gone down, and if they're able to like do that hurt and output early doors from range, you might have got a really good army there. Next up, Wondrous. I'm going to move straight back on. Monstrous Arcanum. Holy shit. This year's General's Handbook includes points for nearly all the Forge Worlds Warhammer Age of Sigmar range. Yes, we've been consolidated. Yeah? Call me a fake army, you fucking tosspots. Because
fake army.
No, we're in the General's Handbook, so it's real. It's as real as it can be. Tamrakan's Horde are in there, and anyone who wants to play Tamrakan's Horde this season, you are the hero. That's what I think. And Legion of Asgore remain unchanged. Both, by the way, Tamrakan's Horde, in my opinion, are the worst army in all of Age of Sigmar. And Legion of Asgore have had no points changes. Is that fair?
I don't care.
I care. We could have seen some sweeping changes across
I reckon the fucking Kadai should have gone up. The fucking those things are cheap as.
Excuse me. Excuse me, we need some threats. Anyway, but there might have been some changes to some of the exalted demons. It says the corn one has got cheaper, as has the Mongol. But I'll be talking about those. They're quite like niche, realistically. A lot of the Forge World stuff, but we'll get to it. Troll Hag will be an interesting one to see whether or not the Troll Princess has changed not only points but lives. She's changed my life because she's wonderful. Next up, endless spells.
Oh, do you want the Sylvaneth ones?
Points.
Yeah.
The battle tome's not out yet. How would I be able to know? Yes, I do. Tell me. No. Look, we're going to do this later. Yeah?
Okay.
Let's do what we've set out to do, and then we'll do another show afterwards.
Cool.
Right. Endless spells have proven to be a core part of match play, apparently. The Geminids of Ulgish have gone up 60 points, Nath. Still absolutely value at 60 points. Yeah.
Still too cheap.
Still too cheap. Like, if you wanted to make it so that you were having to make a hard conversation with yourself about taking them, I'd say 80.
Yeah.
60 points, I'd still put them in a list. But every army in every land in every fucking world is about to take this 50-point fucking ball of bags. That's right. The Purple Sun is 50 points. It's ludicrous at 50 points. 70 points would have been okay. 60 points. Not forgetting Ash won with Nighthorn and a Purple Sun in Australia. Yeah, it's not. It's just. I mean, compare it to Vortex, obviously, and that's dumb as shit.
Narnia.
Yeah, but 50 points, Nath. Oh, I wish I was playing some sort of magic army that wants to do it. Purple Sun. I might get Purple Sun tattooed on my fucking chest. It's so cheap, and I'm so excited. Yeah. See you later, 2 King Tristan. Purple Sun meta, that's correct. Same as 1 command point. What's better, Purple Sun or 1 command point?
Purple Sun. Command points are boring. Besides, I've got so many of them.
Tartu says that I should tattoo it on each of my balls, but unfortunately, they're already tattooed, so I can't. With a picture of Nathan's face, literally looks the same. If you just look at his head right now on the screen, yeah, that's what it looks like. Biological Hippo says, howdy folks, new points looking good. They're all looking fucked up, but that's the best bit about the General's Handbook, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, Nath. Yeah, is they've never done it well. Yeah, but what they basically do is they walk in, we've all got our like little toys, we've all built like loads of little sandcastles, yeah, and then they just walk in like a big kid and they just kick all the sandcastles everywhere, and we're all like, oh man, what the fuck? But then at the same time, some of us laugh because we like when sandcastles get kicked. Cackles. And then some of us like, fuck, you ruined my sandcastle. But what's nice is none of us have been fucked over as much as Beastcore Raiders. Because the article says you save points on your Beastcore Raiders army.
So you can ally
in other stuff that's better.
Yeah, not so you can take more Beastcore Raiders. No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Step away from the Beastcore Raiders and ally in something decent.
Yeah. Also, Daka Flame makes a good point. My change. Now I need to build a Purple Sun. I better go get some bandages. Please, if you are building your Purple Sun, please be careful. It is very dangerous.
Yeah. It's pretty slow, actually, just looking at it now.
Oh, Soulbinding, thanks for joining the chat. Appreciate that loads. See you later, Sinise. Nero's just not happy about that. And more. Here we go. So this is the bit where it gets a little bit techie. Yeah. So apparently, Nath, this is exciting for you. The General's Handbook's obviously coming out soon. Or it's out next week. Well, it's all out in our WhatsApp chats right now. But Skaven, Blades of Khorne, Fire Slayers, that's an interesting one. Gloomspite Gits and Flesh Eater Courts are all getting digital version downloads, which I'd like to compliment and congratulate Games Workshop on doing that. So normally, because the General's Handbook would have gone to print months and months ago, maybe up to 6 months ago. So what they're doing with those digital downloads is they're going to be adapting to potential problems or points changes that they think need doing now, which I think is great. You got any thoughts on that?
Yeah. That's grand.
It's great, right? Yeah. We're super supportive and on board with that. Yeah. As much as we think whatever points you decide to pick will be fucking outrageously wrong, it doesn't matter. The fact that they're trying is fantastic. Yeah. So really proud of them for that. That's excellent. Oh, I'm chuffed. Right, so overall, initial reaction to that article, not forgetting that we obviously now have to do another show based on all the points, but initial reaction to that article, our pre-release excitement. Are you excited?
I'm excited still.
You're still excited?
Yeah.
I'm still excited.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be very, very good. Have they gotten around to Iron Jaws? They have not had any love. Is my thoughts. So one of the things the Honest War Game is going to do, which I can tell you now, this is going to go up in a minute as a podcast. So I'm recording a bunch of, over the next 48 hours, I'm going to be recording a bunch of podcasts with experts in their fields. So I'm going to be doing a podcast with Nathan on only Iron Jaws. We'll be doing one on only Dispossessed, maybe with Dispossessed Dan. So people from all around the world, people who play their armies competitively, and see how they feel about the points changes, as opposed to just me and Nath.
Yeah.
It should create a more... what's the right word? It should be a better representation of the armies for you guys. So just pay attention to Honest War Gamer over the next week or so. We're going to get loads as we get the scenarios. We'll do a review on that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be cool. Any new battle plans and all the other things. So
yeah, it's all the allegiance abilities that are in the General's Handbook as well. So the Iron Jaws have got most of their allegiance abilities on the handbook, not in the battle tome and stuff like that. So it'd be good.
I haven't actually messaged Haywo. He's actually on my spreadsheet to message about B-Score Raider points.
Okay.
So yes, please, Haywo. Exactly you is who I would like to talk to about that. So expect that coming out soon. I'm looking forward to it. You're right. There's allegiance abilities to come as well because they're not out. We're going to wait until we get the correct amount of information before we make any content. And then just watch us for the next few weeks, because obviously one of the things that we're all going to need to learn is how the new battle plans work, what are good allies, we got loads. Nathan knows, I've got loads of shows planned, so it's been exciting joining you guys for Christmas. Happy Christmas, yeah, happy General's Christmas. If you guys have enjoyed it, again, thank you to everyone on Patreon and Twitch. We're going now, even though there's like a ton of you watching. Love you all. Get excited about the points. And
see how many of you get any sleep tonight. You'll probably be sat up all night on your phone.
Yeah. Big shout out.
Updating.
Yeah. Big shout out to Tony P from War Scroll Builder, who's going to have to change everything. Also, final note. The Honest Wargamer website. So, as you know, we're pretty famous for the list building function. Well, list guide writing thing that you can do on the website. If you've made an account, so what we've just done, I probably should do this as a separate show, but I'll do it at the end of this anyway. What we've done is we've now changed it. So if you make an army list, a list rundown or a unit rundown on the website, it will now be automatically entered as version 2.5. So this General's Handbook now, if we could all use this vernacular, Haywo and anyone else who's a podcaster out there listening. So it's 2.5 now. That's what this General's Handbook is. It's 2.5. So if you go on the website and you make a unit rundown, or if you've made a unit rundown before, or a list rundown, if you just go in, you can edit your own rundown and change it to 2.5, and then it'll become viable. Otherwise, it'll be grayed out. Because if you go on the website right now, everything's basically grayed out. Yeah, because that means now you can make new lists and new rundowns based on the new points. And we did that at the flick of a button. It's a cool website, right? Yeah.
Sounds fancy pants.
Sounds fancy pants. So you can go on there now, and anything that you see that isn't grayed out will be based on the new points in the new version of the game. So we're in Age of Sigmar 2.5. Nath, you excited?
Yeah.
Who do you want to call it for? Which faction is going to be rocking 2.5? Twitch chat, I'd like to answer that question. Nathan, answer that question.
I reckon Gits are going to be really good, but probably Zinch, actually, looking at those fucking points.
Whoa, don't be like that.
Wankers.
Zinch aren't going to be a
Everybody hates Zinch. Now, again, let's bring back the hate.
No, we're all fine. El Capitan, if you've written a rundown, all you have to do is literally log in, go onto your rundown, and it just gives you the option to just change it. Just go on it and just change the version, and it will be sorted. Yeah, so it's literally 2 clicks to change it, so don't worry about it. The chat says pun stuff. We haven't yet changed filtered it by new, but that is on our list to do. Sanesh says Lovo. Haywo says 2.5. I'll adopt this. Mercy Buku. Heinrad says FEC and Skaven. Arachnus Dethica says Seraphon. Cole Jacinto says Dispossessed and Iron Jaws. Did you hear that?
Dispossessed and Iron Jaws. Ooh.
Yeah, Jaffa says sadly not Stormcast. Daka Flame says Gitmob. Skillshot says Zinch. Chris Jr. says, can someone leak Zinch already? I know. please. The Templar says Slanesh. Mick Wendell says Zeech. He is very excited. Slanesh, Zeech, FEC says Off Ranger. Dadhammer says Scourge Privateer is going to be fantastic. I can't disagree with that, though. Gutbusted, according to the community side of me.
They're going to be so deadly.
Yeah. Look, you guys have been wonderful. Join us for loads of shows as we put it out soon. Thank you to everyone on Patreon and Twitch. You guys let us do this for a job. Well, be here late at night to do it. Nathan, thank you for your time. You're a fucking badass. Love you all, and we'll see you soon. Good night.
Good night.